What's up, my dudes? So if anybody can make me a coconut helmet, I will rock that shit all day and night. I'm just saying. And we could even do some Throwback Thursday with my old school Aloha tropical gear. It would go perfectamundo together with that, so it would be greatly appreciated if anybody could make that for me. But anyways, in this video, I'm going to be testing out Erode 100, which sounds crazy as fuck, I know, but we're going to see what it does on this Supercross track, and I'm not really doing a certain amount of laps or anything like that, so I won't be skipping through, so you will be getting to see directly what it's doing every single lap, so a bit of a different variation to my other Erode video that I did, but we'll see here what it does. Whoa, got to get a little bit used to this lag right quick, and then we'll be good. But yeah, so Erode 100, this is going to do a lot more like what you actually expect it to do, as in when you're running just one bike, you'll actually be able to tell a little bit more so what it's really doing here, instead of having to run 5 million laps just to tell one little baby rut that is actually formed. So I'm hoping that this video will give people a little bit more of an idea on what it's actually doing, and somebody has been commenting off the chain on my Erode videos telling me that, you know, when you're going in a straight line, it doesn't actually erode the dirt, it's only when you turn, and I'm sure he's probably completely right about that, because it does make more sense that, and I did see your comments, by the way, home dog, but, it does make a whole lot more sense that that's what it's doing, because that's why it doesn't really dig down ruts on the straight jump faces and stuff like that. But I think another thing you have to understand about MX Simulator is hardly ever do you keep the bike perfectly straight in this game. You know what I'm saying? Because of how let me see how to explain this. So, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that your turning is so touchy, so it's actually very tricky to keep the bike perfectly straight. So, even though it may be that way, where it doesn't really dig down in the dirt when you're going straight, it's still gonna dig down more than you think, because you're just constantly turning because of how actual sensitive the turning is in this game, if that makes any sense. So whoa, okay, that's getting a little bit tricky already. This is one of those tracks where you gotta be like on it in the corners. You cannot be messing around, so I need to focus a little bit more here. But I haven't had just a ton of laps on this track either. I rode one little online race with it, one or two online races of it, and that's about it. But it is funny though how when you start putting the erode on it, it really does make it like a whole different challenge than you would originally anticipate. Oh, but oh man, that built one of those holes in the actual whoops right there. That was pretty interesting there. I was like, oh my god. See, like I was going back to what I was saying, I've kept it fairly straight in the whoops, but it's still going to dig down the whoops. It just has a very different kind of system than you might think in your head. Like, it just builds a rut no matter if you're going straight or turning or whatever the case may be. It's not exactly like that. Like that dude was saying when he commented on a bunch of my other videos, oh man, it's so tricky. See, when you have the erode on 100, you have to be way more careful with where you're going, or it just tears the track up, dude, like really quick. I mean 3 laps quick. So that's interesting there. I probably should have focused a little bit more at the beginning, that way I could have made sure and try to go in the same exact line so that it didn't make this sort of clusterfuck that it kind of has going here. But okay, digging that inside a little more. Woo! Alrighty then. We'll see how these ruts shape up after a couple laps. Sorry for the early crashes here going off the track. I'll probably just rut up that whole berm down to where there's no berm left. But you can see right there already what it's done. That was a perfectly smooth corner right there. So you could probably build a pretty decent rut line. Dude, this is actually a lot of fun on a Supercross track with erode on 100, because you can tell exactly what it's doing right away. Fuck that rhythm section. Oh my gosh. It is so hard to come around a corner like that when it's not smooth, you know? It's hard to get the the real drive that you need. And man, it's done it in just a few laps too. That's what's interesting. Oh, wow, dude. This completely changes a Supercross track right here. Ooh, coming up a little short. But let's see. So I've been taking this inside. You can see it's already just about dug a motocross trench right there. Let's see. So it's making a lot of quite realistic kind of Supercross ruts where, like in real life, you know how in most of the corners, fuck, dude, I don't know what's going on here. It's like you'll go straight, but then all of a sudden you'll just be cross-rutting out of nowhere. Some of these ruts can be a lot harder to see than you might think, depending on the certain kind of decal that you have going on. But it's kind of like how it is in real life, where you just start just building a lot more of those inside ruts out of a bowl corner, and a bowl corner is going to be completely different than a motocross sweeping type corner. So that is kind of the interesting difference in balance that you have on a Supercross track. But I was a little bit concerned that it would just kind of mess the corner up and not really make lines, which it hasn't really made lines, like especially when you have the erode on this sort of level. Woo! That's getting gnarly right there. Especially when you have the erode on this level right here, it's not going to make the rut lines that you think, because you just, all it takes is one lap to be a little bit off of that rut, and then you've jacked up your other rut, you know? So, but it's actually making like decent one lines, I guess I should say. Like 1 or 2 lines in the corners. It's not going to be like a, fuck, that section, dude. My gosh, I want to come over here and look at what, see, it's hard to even tell like where the rut has been made. That's what's hard to figure out about it, but I can't turn around there and look, or I'll just make another rut going up to it. So, okay, let's see. Oh, huck it over that. So we're already on lap 7 here, but this is what I would think it would probably make if you had 20 bikes on like erode 15 and they were all running on it. This is about what it would make right here. Obviously, I've been kind of running in the same rut line, but it would make something a little more similar to this anyways. Woo! Okay. So let's see. Jumping over this. Now, this right here has made a pretty cool rut that you can actually get in quite a bit. And then this section right here, you just got to, it's like you got to change your whole focus. It goes from being like wide open everywhere to being like, okay, I better slow the fuck down or I'm about to get cross-rutted. You know, it like changes your whole outlook on the track. That's what I have to, that's what I've kind of had to learn right here. Like, and you usually never have to do that with MX Simulator. That's what's cool about the erode in this game, is it's like a whole different gameplay element in that sense. But overall, I'm actually fairly impressed with what it does in the corners. I mean, I know I've talked some flack on the erode system about all the actual, the way it's put into the game and all that different stuff, but in the, you know, the optimization of it and everything is, I know I've kind of hated on that in the past, but as far as like what it does, it's really not that bad. It's not like a super horrible system. It's just kind of the way it's put into the game is a little bit gnarly. But, I mean, it does make, you know, ruts. It does what it's supposed to do. But it is limited in a lot of ways, and that's something to always keep in mind there. But even that corner, it's kind of making this like double rut coming out of the corner, which is very realistic. It actually looks like a real life rutted up Supercross track in that sense. But what's funny about a Supercross track is that, you know, you have to basically have momentum all the way around the track. So if you mess up anywhere, it almost fucks you up for the whole track. So when you start rutting stuff up, it kind of changes your whole speed around the track, your whole momentum around the track. Even though you may be okay in all the other sections, all it takes is one little section, and then it jacks you up for that whole rhythm, and then it jacks you up for the whole next rhythm, so you get completely off of your flow just because of certain 1 or 2 sections being a little more rough. So that's something that you may not realize coming right into it. You may just think, oh, well, may rut this one section up a little bit more, but I'll be quick everywhere else. Well, doesn't exactly work that way, but ooh, wow, dude, that's something that's just not done very often in MX Simulator, is actual rutted up Supercross tracks. So it's kind of like, oh, I've never rode on this before right here. This, oh, okay. But it is very different from my Marsh SX2, if any of you guys rode on that track. You know how when you go in there and pre-build the ruts and you can make like 7 ruts going up the face of the jump, it's obviously not going to make anything like that whatsoever. It's just, it's a different kind of rut building system that it does here than obviously what you would do man-made wise, but it's still okay in a certain way. I mean, it still makes ruts, you know. It's not just like making this just stupendous jambalaya in the corner that you can't really ride on at all. And obviously it's just me, one bike on the track, but still it's erode 100. So, and that's what's kind of crazy about it, is when you start changing your erode levels, it's going to change everything about how it actually erodes the track in a long-term type sense, you know? Like, just because you have it on erode 15 doesn't mean you can ride triple the amount of laps and it make the exact same kind of erode that if you got on there with erode 100, if that makes any sense, you know? But I mean, it is still a rideable track. It's not like it tore it up to just a crazy degree. Woo! That rut right there did not want me in it, but yeah, so that's about what you could expect with erode 100 on this track. And let's see, the whoops are still, they're fairly decent, man. They do have a couple little cupped out places, but it's not like it just totally tore them up in 12 laps. So, oh, dude, that corner right there is butter, bro. I love how it made that rut in that corner, and even that little rut right there. Love how it did that to the inside. Because that's naturally kind of where you would think you could go, but there's really no banking there when there's no ruts on the track. So it's cool how it kind of builds that for you there, but you definitely got to pep down a little bit on your rhythm hitting here, because you cannot get the actual momentum when you got those random squirrely ruts coming out of the corners and stuff. But yeah, it's just a very different system whenever you have ruts crossing into ruts versus pre-made, man-made, just ruts that are really close beside each other, but they don't cross within each other. That's something that's very different in this game. You know, you'll hop on some tracks where it's like ruts going into ruts and then crossing over and coming out into other ruts, and it just makes a very different riding experience than you would have by just somebody making separate ruts that just are really close together. They don't actually cross over. So this is going to be a bit more of your actual where the ruts are crossing in and out, so you have to be very patient with it to not cross rut in that sense. It's not always just as easy as hopping in one rut and staying in it forever, you know what I mean? Because there's a good chance it's probably crossed over into another rut, and then you're going to cross rut into that. So it definitely takes I think quite a bit more mental capacity here to ride on something like this, but it has made some kickers off of some of these jumps, and you can definitely tell where I've landed mostly in areas, and I don't even really know exactly how the terrain deformation system works. I mean, I've had people comment and stuff like that, like I was saying at the beginning, but I mean, is he the creator of the game? No. So I don't know. I don't even know how much. You can't just always believe what somebody comments. People can sound really smart in their comments and then actually not know anything about it. So that, and it's no offense to you, dude, if you're watching this video. I mean, you may know what it's doing, but what I'm getting at here, though, is you may not know it to a 1000% degree. You get what I'm saying? You may not just, you may understand it, some of it, but just not all of it. So, so it may not be just exactly like you're saying, but either way, so that's why you just got to take everything you hear in a comment with a grain of salt. Fuck! that jump right there launches you with that kicker on it now. I mean, you go like twice as high as you usually would there, but and like I was saying, it's just always good to take pieces and parts from people, but never just think that what they're saying is everything to the situation. Never think that you can just believe what they're saying completely, you know? You got to just always take little bits and parts and then put your own opinion in there with it, and then that's how you build a basis of what you actually believe. But it's... in this day and age and in this world, it's just, I don't know, man. It gets to a point where it's like, believe what is in your heart, period. And as long as you do that and you don't let anything else change your opinions on anything, you just believe what you believe deep down, then there's nothing else to say. You get what I'm saying? There's nothing else to it. All you're doing is saying what you mean from the heart. So anything past that, whether or not you're right, wrong, in between, because saying that you're right about something is really just, nobody is technically right about anything. You get it? It's a system of like what somebody else thinks is right or what all these other people think is right. So there really is no right or wrong ever. So as long as you're speaking your mind and you're saying what you truly believe, and you're not just trying to say something for a sort of kind of like, you know, you're not trying to say it and not get backlash for it, or you're not trying to say it for just some other stupid reason like popularity or whatever the case may be. As long as you're saying it just because that's exactly what you mean and nothing else, then it's right to you. You get what I'm saying? So, and that at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. But you can see how these ruts have definitely shaped up more and more and more as I've went on here. But it's just about eliminated the possibility of hitting that triple in there. Maybe I could hit it far to the outside and it'd be a little bit better. But whoa, that kicker, dude! Holy shit! I think you can quad. I think you can quad all the way to that table now. This is crazy. This is actually really cool, man, because it's like, oh, look at all the, I think that's where I crossed back on the track or something. That built almost like braking bumps or something right there. But so I've been taking this inside rut. It is just about beaten to the core. But yeah, let's see if we can do that. I'll try to hit it on that exact kicker spot there, and we'll see if we can actually quad onto that table, which is not a normal line that you can, or rhythm, I should say, that you can hit there. So we'll see what it does. Ooh. But yeah, definitely getting tricky in that corner on that section where it's got that kicker. But I think you could still triple that if you swung it far enough to the outside. But okay, this is going to be tricky right here. I just got to balls up and hit it. Fuck! I hit it to the side a little bit. Let me kind of just turn around right here and hit it again. I got a little too peppy in the corner, and it got me angled out the wrong way. Let's see. I didn't quite hit it right there. Might take a couple of tries here, but we'll see if we can get it. You just got to come into it not thinking too hard. You just got to come around. See, I'm thinking too hard about it now. I can't even get straight out of the corner. Okay. Ooh, it's a kicker, dude. I don't know. I think there was like a one or two lap opportunity there where the corner was actually still somewhat smooth to hit the kicker properly, but now it's so jacked up that I don't even think that you can do it anymore. That's how quick it changes with 100 erode. You know, you gotta, if there's a line that pops up, you'd better hit it right then and there, or it may not be there the next lap. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to hit that now. The corner's just gotten so jacked up. But this is cool to see nonetheless, no matter whatever else you think about it. It's just cool to see. Let's go around. Let's go. See, I can't even get any drive out of the corner now because I went around and hit the corner too many times. You see what I'm saying? It's so deep right here that, oh, dude, there's no way. No, I totally jacked up my opportunity in hitting the quad. Oh, dude, I was really hoping to be able to hit a bigger rhythm like that. Let's see. Oh my god, dude. It's like, you've seen that first time where I sort of, like, I accidentally turned inside a little too quick? Well, now that's how the corner is. That's how the corner rut is. So it's forcing me to do that every lap. That's how careful you have to be with it there. And that's how careful I should have been at the very beginning, but I really wasn't thinking that hard. But, whoa, she's getting ruddy. I'm still about 20 laps deep in here. It's way easier to do it on a Supercross track, especially a short one like this, than it is a longer motocross track. But this whoop section, we'll run through it slow, just kind of see what it did here. Made that one crazy spot. You can see definitely some cupped out sections there. This corner really wasn't that too bad throughout the whole ride here, but oh, this corner right here is probably my favorite. Hey dudes, I just wanted to let you know that there is a link in the description to donate to me if you want to support me, and if you can't or you just don't want to, I totally understand. That's why it's completely optional, but I will be listing my top 10 donators at the end of every single future video, and I will shout out every new donator at the end of a video, even if they're not top 10. So I want to let you guys know that I have all of my different playlists on my front page, whether it be game-specific playlist or series-specific playlist. So if you're looking for any particular game or particular series that you want to watch, I have it all laid out there in a pretty organized manner on my front page. And my email address is spencerturley@live.com, no space, no capital. And I do accept sponsorship offers. And you guys should also follow me on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, Steam, all that different stuff at Spencer Turley, no space, no capital. So anyways, I appreciate you guys watching the videos. Later, dudes.